Please join me in welcoming our presenter, Question Telka. Question is an enrolled agent and advanced certified QuickBooks Pro advisor with more than 15 years of experience providing bookkeeping and accounting services and solutions. As a self-described nonprofit loving accounting nerd, her passion is working with nonprofits by giving them the financial tools they need to successfully fulfill their missions. Having previously been the director of finance and administration at a nonprofit, she has insight into the unique challenges that nonprofits face. Based in North Carolina, she currently owns her own firm, Reconcile Financials, and is going to be sharing some amazing insights with us today about starting her own firm. Now that you know a little bit more about her, I'm going to turn things over to Question so that she can dive into today's presentation. Question, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I also want to thank Jasmine and CPA Academy for hosting as well. I'm really excited to be here to talk about a topic that I think can be both exciting and terrifying at the same time. And that's transitioning from being an employee to an accounting or bookkeeping firm owner. And maybe some of you have come from accounting or bookkeeping firms yourselves, or you're internal accountants for another organization, and you're looking to become an entrepreneur. And I'm sure, much like myself, many of you are wondering, why would I leave the stability of a firm for the uncertainty of starting my own business? And I think that's a really fair question, and one that I've asked myself, as I said, in my own journey. But today I'm going to share with you the opportunities and, of course, the challenges that can come with entrepreneurship, as well as sharing some practical strategies that'll help you kind of get ready to take some of those first steps to building your own practice. This is a journey that I took myself about 5 years ago, and I didn't really have a whole lot of guidance or mentorship. And so I'm excited to kind of share some of the mistakes that I made, along with some of the challenges that came up, and help you just kind of be prepared to, make those next steps. But before we dive in, I would really like to understand where all of you are at on your entrepreneurial journey so far. So we have a question for all of you. And if you could let me know, I believe actually there's a poll question so that you can go ahead and fill out and let me know. Okay, I'm seeing them coming in. Let me see.
Yeah, so just to clarify for our audience, we've got another poll. Let us know there where you are on your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of contemplating starting my own business. In fact, that's the majority of everyone here. So I think this is going to be a perfect start for all of you. And then we have some recently started, as well as I'm in full swing. So I'll be really interested to hear some of your feedback and have all of you guys share in the Q&A your experiences as well. And then we have 14% in full swing and looking to reevaluate. And I love that too. So I think we have a nice variety, and I'm very excited to share some of my experiences. So employment of accountants and auditors is projected to grow 6% from 2023 to 2033, faster than the average for all occupations. Now, I found that statistic pretty shocking. Faster than the average for all occupations, I think, was what really stuck with me. So what I would say is, what better time could there be to take the leap to start a business in this area? Because as all of you are probably very much aware, the demand for accounting services is very high. And, this can, of course, cause challenges when scaling, and we'll discuss some of that later on. However, when the demand for services is so high, with some really careful planning, I think this can just be the perfect time to take advantage of that opportunity and all the work that's available to really make that transition. Because making that transition from being a salaried employee, for example, to a business owner can be very scary, both emotionally, financially. So I think this is a really good time to get started. So let's talk about what we're going to learn today. We are going to learn a step-by-step plan to begin your own practice, to give you some confidence and clarity as you start that journey. We'll understand, hopefully, by the end, our motivations and our why behind our entrepreneurial journey, and work to stay aligned with the goals that we have. We're going to discuss some often overlooked details that I have found to be crucial to successfully shifting from being an employee to an entrepreneur. So as we begin this process and this new path, or evolve in the one that we're currently on, I think there are some really important considerations and steps that we need to take in the planning phase. And I'm going to share with you those steps that in my experience are really critical to your success. And that's based on, what I have went through and what I've learned and the mistakes that I've made and the things that I've done right in the last 5 years. So we're really going to dig into each one of those in a bit more detail. The first thing that we're going to cover is understanding your why. We're going to talk about preparing for your entrepreneurial journey. I seem to have a hard time with that word. And I think those are probably the two most important that we're going to come back to, and I'll explain a bit more about what I mean by preparing for it. We really need to start off with and build a strong foundation. We want to make sure that we're choosing the right technology. We need to find our ideal clients and know who they are. And then we need to strategize for growth. So as I said, I consider the first two steps the most important, as your business is constantly evolving along with you. These are two areas that you'll need to return to as you adapt to your changing business and your own shifting goals and potentially shifting values. So my firm has changed a lot since I first started, and it has shifted and grown, and I have continually always come back to my motivations and my values to help me kind of continue to follow the path to being fulfilled by the work that I'm doing. So, we're hopefully going to learn what some of those are, and it will help us continue on the right path. So your why is and should be the foundation of everything that you're doing as an entrepreneur. So I'm interested to hear from all of you in the Q&A. Why do you want to start your own business? What has motivated you to consider starting your own bookkeeping or accounting firm, and then to make a leap and attend this webinar and to learn more about it? So I'll give you all just a couple of minutes to answer in the Q&A. Again, what is it that is making you or driving you to want to start your own firm? I see supplemental income from Kathy. That's a great one. There is a desire for more flexibility, exactly, for family and travel, financial independence, or a sense of purpose. I love these answers. Thank you, guys. This is great. Be your own boss. So some of us are motivated by the opportunity to create something that reflects our values and allows us to make a difference in the world. I'm seeing a lot of flexibilities in there. And I love that, because that was one of my top reasons as well. So some of us may really want to just build something that's our own. Maybe we want more financial freedom. I really, again, as I said, wanted the flexibility of running my own business because I'm the mother of 2 boys, one of which is neurodiverse. And I really wanted to be able to provide the care for him and be present, but also be fulfilled professionally, because I also love the work that I do. So I think those are really great answers, and we're going to keep all of those in mind as we keep going. So what are your long-term and short-term goals overall in starting your business? So go ahead and throw that in the Q&A as well. I think it's important to understand what motivates us personally, and without clarity on our motivations, I think you'll find it hard to build a business that is truly fulfilling. So I'd encourage you to ask yourself what your short-term, again, and long-term goals are. Throw those in the chat for me. Where do you want to be in 1 year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And so on. Write them down, put them someplace where you can always see them, so it continues to serve as a reminder, because as we get bogged down with the day-to-day, it's really hard to get off track for our goals. So I love this goal. I would love 5 regular clients. Let me see. Help small businesses keep their money in their pocket. I love that answer too. These are all amazing goals. So once we define what our motivations are, I think the next step is to think about what our core values are. So what do you want your business to stand for? What kind of culture do you want to build? For example, maybe you value transparency or reliability, or perhaps you want to focus on, as one of the attendees mentioned, supporting small businesses. So whatever your values are, these should be the guiding principles that are going to shape how you run your business. When I started my firm, I was much more of a generalist, but I quickly realized, especially coming from a nonprofit background, that I was driven by a deep desire to help nonprofits accomplish their missions, and more recently have found a passion for working with disability advocacy nonprofits. So we're always wanting to keep in mind our values, our goals, and as they shift, our businesses will hopefully shift in line with those as well. So some important questions to ask yourself to help you identify your core values would be describing who you are. So just really think about who you are as a person, what is important to you. Ask yourself what makes you feel fulfilled professionally. If you're going to be doing this all day, every day, what about your work do you enjoy most, so that you can build a business around the things that you tend to enjoy most? What makes you feel fulfilled personally? So I would encourage everybody to take some time after the session, and you'll have the slide deck to really dig into these questions. And I would love to hear from all of you, what are some of the things that make you feel most fulfilled professionally? So go ahead and throw that in the Q&A. I know somebody mentioned a couple of minutes ago to help small businesses keep money in their pocket. I have a colleague who built their entire business around servicing small business owners in her local community, pretty much in her walkable community. So what is it that is making you feel fulfilled? And I see helping small business understand their financials, a good Excel spreadsheet. That's great. These are wonderful answers. That's good. So your why and your core values will be your compass as you navigate the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So in fact, I would argue that having a strong why can help you overcome many of the challenges that you will face inevitably, right? So having a clear sense of purpose, you can stay aligned with your long-term goals, even during tough times. And hopefully we don't have very many of them, but inevitably when they happen, we want to be able to make sure that we can handle them appropriately. So I had the pleasure of talking to Lynette Oss-Connell. She is a passionate burnout prevention and recovery strategist, and she has had a unique journey through the accounting industry. She used to be an auditor. She's a former owner of a CAS practice, and she actually sold her CAS practice because she felt her values and her why take another direction. So she had some really valuable insights and advice to share with us on determining your why. So I'm going to play a video and let's see what she had to say.
Following your own inner guidance, first thing that hops into my mind when I think about finding a why is being really careful about listening too much to other people, where they see your talent, where they see your skill, where they need your help. As much as all of that's really, really valid, following your own inner guidance, your intuition about where you want to serve, where your talents can really shine will matter more, because that's where you're really going to resonate with the work.
I think she had a really great point that, you know, finding your values and your why is where you're really going to resonate with your work, which I think is, again, very important as we find our, you know, go on this journey. Part of the reason, as we've said, that we've done this is we're thinking about doing this is for flexibility and to kind of, you know, find our way separately from working for someone else, to be your own boss, as someone said.